Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Game of Life budget video explanation. You're going to all have to make a budget as part of this assignment. To help you, I made a sample budget within the pages here. The purpose of a budget is to make sure that you are spending what you're making and not spending more than what you're making. A lot of people in their 20s, 30s, just don't manage money very well because it feels nice to be able to I'm not going to write it down. I'm just going to go out. If I spend $100 at Target, who cares? If I spend 200 here or 100 here, like it doesn't matter. But the thing is, it does matter. And if we don't get a handle on how our money's spent and track where it's being spent, then later it leads to other conversations and frustrations. And if you owe people money because you can't figure out your spending, that's not a good spot to be in. You want to manage what you've been given well, and a budget will help you do that. So, if I had a wish for you, it'd be that you'd see how to do this, you'd practice doing one, you'd do a good job on the project for doing one, but then after this project, that you would grow up, and as soon as you got your first job, you'd be able to budget the money that you had. And you can do this in high school. You can do this with any money amount you have. If it's recurring money, it's money coming in, you get $200 a week or $100 a month, or you get $800 a month, or whatever money you have coming in, you can budget that money. Okay. This is like saving up. When you get a bunch of money, like, okay, I want to buy this thing. It's $80. I only have 20, so I'm going to work really hard and save up for it. When I get it, I'm going to buy it. Right? That's very similar idea to what a budget is, except for you're doing that on a large scale with all your money. So, sample budget. Let's take a look at the left side first. I try to put everything I possibly could think of. I try to think of things that I pay for. I personally don't have credit cards with money on them. I have credit cards, but I only use my credit cards for emergencies. Um, and I never have an emergency that needs that. I don't never have an emergency that would need to be used for a credit card, unless I have some type of points on a car that I'm trying to earn points for. But right now I don't. I do have I have two credit cards, but there's no money on them. For this project though, I have chosen credit card number one, $100 a month, credit card number two, $100 a month. So you're going to have to choose 50, 100, 200, put it there. Cell phone plan, I do have a cell phone, and I pay about that much per month for my cell phone. Car, that's how much I pay in gas. So I'll just put that down for you. It'd be really cool for this part is if you knew like how many miles a week you would drive to and from your Zillow.com home to your job, wherever that is, and you calculated the miles, and you knew how many miles would fill up in your car, and you could calculate how much money you'd be spending on gas. That would be cool. I tell you, a lot of kids do not do that. That's rarely done. Entertainment, this would be like the social life piece that I put in there. I'm going to have $200 a month for that. If you want to get more specific about how that $200 is spent, you could say like, okay, that's $100 at Topgolf once a month, and then the other 100 is split um, between doing whatever it is that you do that one costs more, a movie, okay, or whatever. Gifts. Gifts is interesting because, well, you know what? It never makes it in people's budgets like gifts. What am I buying gifts for? You actually rarely know who you're buying gifts for until it's like all of a sudden it's Mary Jo's birthday and you're like, oh, that came out of nowhere. Like you don't just like people don't track other people's birthdays, but all of a sudden somebody has a birthday and you're like, I should get them something. And where's that money going to come from? Well, if you don't have a budget, you just go out and buy Mary Jo a birthday gift. The problem with that is now you have less money for something else because you didn't have it on your budget. So if you know that you like to buy gifts for people and you're going to spend $100 a month on those gifts for people, great. I will tell you that it does not have to be $100. These amounts are just a sample. You do not have to even copy this amount. Okay, you could put gifts at, you know, $20 or clothes at $50. You know, most of the ladies are going to want clothes on here. Most of the guys are like, no, I'm not buying clothes. What's funny about that is that when you're 25 years old and living on your own and you have a new job, you're it's rare that your mom and dad are going to buy you jeans. Okay, they still might for like Christmas or whatever, but it's pretty rare. So you're going to have to buy some clothes, and clothes are not cheap, by the way. Some pairs of jeans are exactly $100, so keep that in mind. Depends on where you shop. Medicines and prescriptions, it's something that I think every household, every person, everybody takes something some way, somehow, whether it's vitamins, whether it's, and that could say vitamins or it could say maybe your medicine or prescriptions or it could be Advil, it doesn't matter. It could be Tylenol. The point is that it's on there that you're budgeting something for those items. And the number could be way smaller, it depends. If you know that you only need $10 a month there, that's fine. But the point is, don't pretend. Let's not pretend that we don't have that. Or what's hard for us is we're 13 years old, so we don't have anything, but we're not kind of doing this for our 13-year-old self. We're kind of making a budget, pretending that we're, 20s, 30s. So it's good to plan ahead. Health insurance. This will depend on how much money your job makes. Please see the part on health insurance for how much to charge there. Target, Costco, that's up to you. Fred Meyer, please. When I go to Target, man, I'm $100 easy at Target if I go. That's why I do not go to Target. I haven't been to Target in like 6 weeks, and there's a reason for that because I've been quarantined. No, I haven't been to Target because if when I go to Target, I just spend money. So Target, it'll get you. It's hard not to spend money in there. And Costco, um, Costco is a great big warehouse full of many items that you have to buy in bulk, and you can't just buy like one apple. You have to buy 12 apples. So if you're going to go to Costco, you can put money towards your Costco every month. Restaurants, same thing. Fred Meyer. Some people, this is where you're going to choose whatever store you want to go to, and then how much money. Again, this amount right here will be determined on your grocery list. So when you're done making your grocery list, your 2-week grocery list, you're going to multiply it by 2. That way you have 4 weeks, which is 1 month, and that's where this number is going to come from. Okay. A lot of people for this project will have a grocery, but they will not have a Costco. That's fine. If you don't want to include that, that's fine. But other people will include Costco as well. Car insurance, I explained above. New car, 150, used car, 120. Car payment. This will depend on the car you're buying, and I can help you come up with that payment. I will help you with that. TV, internet. Most households are paying $200 for cable, internet, all their stuff. The easiest way to do that one is just ask your parents, like, how much do we pay for TV and internet? Then you can just put down what they pay. If it's more than 200, you can keep it at 200. I don't mind that, but it might be less. What if they only pay 100 or 150 or something? You can put what they put. Um, some of these expenses, if you don't have them, you don't need them. Netflix, $10, but a lot of people have Netflix and Hulu and then Amazon Prime and this and that, and you know, some people have all of them. So you're going to want to put down the things that you plan on having that you're paying for. As far as I'm concerned, your garbage and sewer, your gas, electricity, and water, those could all be what I put. The only difference you might want to think about doing is asking parents at home, what do we pay for all that stuff? And I bet you some of those are combined. So it might be cheaper for you because I just put so many on there. And then as far as your rent, if you go to Zillow.com and you're renting, whatever amount they tell you is renting, that would go here. If you're going to buy a home, I can help you calculate that. Most of the prices online, when you're looking at buying a home, most of the prices per month are not accurate because they do not include you financing through a bank at all. They just give you how much that payment would be minus what they don't include the bank. So I will help you. I'll be the bank and help you. If you are owning, I will help you come up with your mortgage. If you're renting, it's usually accurate. That's your budget. The last part is this is probably the most important, charitable giving. Someone asked earlier, can we give to more than one charity or to more than two? Yeah, you can give to whoever. Just make sure you write down how much is going to who. How much per month do you want to put aside for when you go on vacation? This is my favorite one of all time. Whatever I want fund. This is like I'm putting aside money for whatever I want. So that kind of gives you the freedom to decide. That feeling that you get when you can just spend your money however you want and you're kind of excited about it. That's that category. I've put money in the category so that I can still feel like, okay, I want this random thing, And instead of having a Target spot where you put $100 at Target, you could just have a whatever spot, and then it might be Target, it might be Costco, it might be. So you could put your money there. I want to save 500 a month. This particular person has a retirement that they're going to put aside because you, for your project, will have a retirement. So, yes, you need all these, but the amounts will be different. This person, this made up person, also look how much they make per year. Like, that's a lot of money, right? That's more than double what I make in real life, right? That's a lot of money. So, this person can have all these things and um, I think if I was doing this project with my actual amounts, they would they would be obviously way lower. So you're going to think about, okay, how much money do I make for my project after taxes? That's a big part of it. Look at the total right here. See how it says 7,500? That's how much all that is. It all adds up to 7,500. So that's important. That's probably the most important part of your budget is that the amount of money you're spending equals the amount of money your paycheck is. So if you look at this example, someone making $163,636, if they make that much money, they only get to keep about 60% of their salary, and it's actually 55% of their salary, because it says that right here, 55%. So I'll make sure that says 55. They keep 55% of their salary because they make, see, salaries greater than 100,000 keep 55%. So this person makes this much. All right, they only get to keep 55%. So you take this big number and you times it by 0.55, which is $90,000. And then you take that number and divide it by 12 months. And that's this much money. That's how everybody on this project is going to, they have to do that. Everybody has to do that to figure out how much money they actually work with. How much money do you actually keep every month? So I'll do it one more time. Whatever number you come up with that you find that your job makes, you need to make sure that you multiply it by the appropriate number that matches what you make. And again, that is right down here. Okay. If you make $50,000, then you're going to times it by 0.75. If you make $75,000, you're going to times it by 0.65. If you make $100,000, right, let's say, then you times it by 0.60. If you make $110,000, you're going to times it by 0.55. So everyone's paychecks are being dinged, okay? And the more you make, the more they take. If you read that right here, that is kind of what our tax system does. Okay, questions on that? You can ask me during our Zoom chats if you're in the middle of making your budget. The hardest part of making your budget would be knowing how much money you have to work with. What's your amount? And then you got to do some math. This piece right here. Every year I've done this project, I spent like almost an entire class period just making sure everybody did their math correctly and they would get their monthly amount. So because of our certain circumstances right now, I can't make sure you have this correctly, but it would be great if you all did and then had the math ready and you saw, okay, here's what I make, here's what I times it by, here's what I have, and then I divide that by 12 months, and now here's my monthly, and that's what your budget has to equal. You can only spend that much money. And another question some people will ask is, I don't see such and such. Can I add that to my budget? You can add anything you want to this budget. This is just a sample. I just made it up. It's just a sample. So if there's something that you are going to look forward to paying for in your project, your budget, you can have it on here, no problem. The most important thing is that the total of your budget is exactly this, because that's what I made down here. Now, why do I keep saying that? Because here's what I found. Some of you, you'll want to buy so much stuff that it goes over your budget. Now you have to think, okay, what can I take out? How much can I reduce? You got to get it down. That's almost easier. The hard part is like, well, some of you will come under budget. You're like, well, I have $1,000 left. That's why I love this section here, because if you have $1,000 left after all your bills, now you can say, okay, I'm going to give 200 here, 200 here, 200. You could split it up 5 ways, and then now you spent your 1,000. So that is, I would leave this last, and all your extra money will go here. Let's just say you're doing it, and you're like, well, I have $38.33 left. Where do I put it? Put it right here, and then whatever you want. $38.33. It's okay. Mine looks perfect with all the zeros. That's because I made it so that you could see it's pretty. In reality, people's budgets are like, okay, you owe $212.14. That's your groceries, and it's like 14 cents. Throws off all these zeros. That's fine. So don't think that you're gonna have a bunch of zeros. You're not, unless you choose to give $200 or I choose to put $500 in my vacation fund. But you might be like, $556 goes in here, or $125 goes here, or I save, $57. It's okay. your number amounts will be okay if they're not perfect like that. That's your budget.